Hi, different one for you this week. So my question for you this week is, how is it with your soul? How are you feeling during this pandemic? I know a lot of us are dealing with mental issues, mental illness issues. We're struggling with depression, anxiety, fear. A lot of us don't know what our work is going to look like. We don't know if we're going to have a job down the road or if we're going to lose that job. We don't know what's going on with our family. Is someone going to get sick, or maybe someone already is sick? And during these hard times, it's really, really difficult for us as human beings to negotiate it. We want to know what the future is and we want control, but we don't have it, and that's tough. This pandemic has also messed with our holy day, if you will, our religious traditions. Most religions celebrate one day a week where they gather together in some kind of community and they build each other up. They encourage one another and they're there for each other. And this pandemic has jacked that whole thing up. We're not able to do that. Has that affected you? I know it's affected me and my family. It's been difficult to try to figure out how to navigate through all that. One of the things I've noticed is that churches have begun to adjust how they show up here online on the screens. Some of them have done a fantastic job. Some of them have gone way overboard on production. Some of them have just held cell phones and had lower production. Whatever anyone tried to do or decided to do, I applaud you for giving it a shot. Matter of fact, I work in this industry. I work in video production and filmmaking, even though you usually can't tell by these vlogs. I don't spend a great deal of time working on production on these. However, that said, I do work in this industry, and I've noticed that churches are starting to shift towards an online audience, knowing that in-person meetings are going to be less frequent and more difficult, more controlled, shorter or less people. They've decided to start working on this online content. And one of the people that I've seen do it better than almost anybody is my friend Neil Greathouse. Right at the beginning of this pandemic, he was going to plant a church. He was actually headed to Columbus, Ohio to plant his first church. I don't know, his 50th church. I'm not sure how many he's planted, but he was headed to Columbus, Ohio to plant a church called Trademark. And pandemic. Ugh, all the pandemic-y stuff. You can't meet in person. Imagine trying to start something during this time that really relies on people coming together. It jacked it up pretty bad. But it's a good thing that Neil Greathouse is a fantastic filmmaker and vlogger, and so he's got a lot of history with this, and so he decided to pour all of it into this. I think there was probably some I'm sure he had some forethought ahead of time and was going to do some really cool stuff online, but I'm not sure that he was going to take it to this level. And so he has planted a church in Columbus, Ohio that eventually will have a building, but currently lives on the internet, called Trademark. I would welcome you to go check it out. But he's not the only one. My beautiful bride, Leah, decided she's always about people's soul. She's always about giving hope. And so she was doing something with some of her coworkers, and it was a very hope-filled teaching that she was doing once a week, and COVID nipped that in the bud. And so she decided that she wasn't going to just give up and quit. She was going to take it online. And so she started doing live Facebook. Well, I could tell you all about it, but it comes better from her. So let's have her tell you about it.
In the summer of 2019, I was meeting with a friend and coworker, going through a book study together, and I really felt the Lord lay it on my heart to offer that to all of our staff at this school that I work at, which is an elementary school. We have high trauma, low income. There's a lot of secondary trauma and stress that we deal with as adults working with these kids that have been through so much. And so I wanted to just bring something to the school that would offer hope and encouragement to our staff. So I chose a book. I would read snippets once a week. In the morning we would meet, and we just had a great time. We would end with prayer just for our school and our community and our kids. And when the pandemic hit, we'd been consistently doing that from September until about March. And then our school got canceled and we closed and we went to virtual learning. At that point, I was offered furlough because my position is like one-on-one student support. So that doesn't really translate through virtual learning. And I could have just quit at that point, but I just saw so many people struggling and posting things about, you know, there's so much fear and anxiety and everything in relation to the pandemic. So I decided to keep going, and I offered it through Facebook Live. So Monday through Friday, every day at a specific time, I was reading a chapter from whatever book I chose. And I think that I made it through, I know we for sure made it through 2 books. I think I might have made it through 3 books and did it from the time we closed at the end of March through the end of May. And people would pop in with me as I was live and would listen, but I also encouraged if people couldn't get on live, then it would be posted, encourage people to listen to it later on. And it actually was a really great time, more so for me than anything else of encouragement. It was really good for me to maintain a consistent schedule and just have a routine and practice so that I didn't spiral like seemingly the rest of the world, and just kept my spirits positive and uplifted. And God really spoke to me and others through that time.
Okay, so if you're struggling, you feel lack of hope, if you feel like you're all alone, there is help. You can get help. You can get help through, obviously, professional like counseling, and then there's also the church, you know. And so if you're looking for something, I welcome you to Google churches near me. You can just type that phrase in, churches near me, a map will pop up and you'll be able to see the churches in your vicinity, in your general area. Or if you're staying home, I welcome you to check out, there are a ton of churches doing online church, including Trademark. And so I recommend that you check out their YouTube channel. I'll link it down in the description below. But my heart goes out to you because I know how it feels. I'm in the same boat where I struggle some days and some days are great. So may God bless you, and I'll see you in the next one.